Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to another Sunday Bunch. We've had a bit of a break. We had a little bit of a breakaway as everybody's been extremely busy. It's one of those situations where everybody on the channel has been busy. I've been busy with my own channel and everybody else has been busy with work and life and all that sort of thing. So welcome on the chat is Las Palmas Mackham, Wayne Durant, Scrappy Dog 100, and David Walker, Robin Hood, Robert Foster, DJ's Earth's Crazy World of Football, Alan Robinson, Andrew Haley, Conrad Tank, Emma Hansen, Sirius, and Lauren Kenny are on the chat. So tonight's show we have Conrad. Conrad, how have you been doing? I haven't seen you for a while.
No, I'm all right, Terry. Just like you say, just really busy with little Isaac and what have you there, but still keeping an eye on Sunderland from afar. Just not being able to get up and go as much as I want to.
We've been doing today much.
We were actually up your neck of the woods. We were up by IKEA getting a bookshelf for the little one.
All right, nice one. And welcome to the chat, Jack Shields. How you doing, mate?
I'm doing pretty good, yeah. I'm looking forward to another hour talk about Sunderland, particularly with a good result yesterday. So yeah, I'm very, very well.
Are you hungover today or not? Or
I'm okay, to be fair. I mean, I had a few. Don't get us wrong, I had a few beers yesterday, but no, I was fairly fresh this morning, which always makes a change for me on a Sunday.
because you go to the match, do you drink on the way back on the bus or?
I had a few before the game, and then I had a couple when I got back. Not as many on the way back, to be fair, because I think I overdid it slightly on the way down. But, yeah, it was
So can you remember the goals? And
oh yeah, I know I wasn't that bad. I know enough.
And Jacob, hello Jacob, you're at the match as well. We've seen a couple of photographs, haven't we, Conrad?
Oh, yeah, bear with you. Sent it in,
I've got
Jacob,
well
so
into
your
it.
answer. Yeah, there you are.
There's Jacob there. What are you doing, Jacob? Are you pointing something or
It must have been.
fist pump?
It must have been a shocking refereeing decision for a facial expression like that.
Well, it's 2-2, so I don't know. Like we've just equalised as well, so I don't know what you're that upset about.
Must have been the emotion caught up with me at that stage.
Yeah, that's what it is there.
So do you get drunk at the match, Jacob, or not? Or are you a teetotal lad?
To be fair, today I'm just more tired, I would say, than just hungover. I had a couple at the match yesterday. I don't tend to drink as much before because the nerves kick in, but afterwards for a decent result. I enjoy myself. I'm pretty just Sunderland AFC'd out, to be honest. I think it's the first time I've done 2 away games in a week, coming out with, was it 4 points, 4 well-earned points as well. So, yeah, pretty exhausted, but we can't complain at the moment in time.
Well, you have to keep on doing what you're doing, going to more away matches, Jacob. Little lucky mascot there. Anyway, on the chat, we have Jamie Giles, we have Tam says, all right, lads, Rufus, Abijas, so welcome back, lads. And we've got Joseph Billingsley. We are going back to the Premier League, I'm telling you. Nice one, I hope we are. Conrad Tank, Billy Bookshelf, Dean, SAFC, evening, lads. Jimmy, what thought this channel was dead? Who thought this channel was dead? I don't know what he's talking about. No, we're back. We've had a bit of a rest, a bit of a break. Like I said, everybody else has been busy, so we're finally getting together. We're going to try and every week do the Sunday bunch when there's a Sunderland match on at the weekend. Marion Trowles, hello, how you doing? Daniel Wilson, David Wilson, Joseph Billingsley says again, Sunderland are going back up this season, very confident. We've got Conrad Leon there, and we've also got... Well, I think that's about it at this moment in time. So we'll go back a little bit. I'll start with Jack Shields. We're going to go back a little bit. We'll go back to the Reading game. We lost Ross Stewart just before the match. What was your thoughts on the Reading game, and do you think that was a massive influence on how the game panned out?
Yeah, I thought we were excellent. Absolutely fantastic. I thought in every aspect of a performance that you could be, we looked solid at the back. I think they only had one shot from Tommins towards the end, and that was about the only thing they had all game. We were excellent going forward, created plenty of chances, clinical as well. I mean, the third goal, how often have we seen a Sunderland team score a goal like that? Very, very rare that we get a...
Sorry, Jack. I said Ross Stewart was injured before the game. That was way back in Middlesbrough game. I meant Ellis Shaw during the game. Continue.
Yeah, so I thought, particularly like you say, the third goal, which... You never get bored of watching it, do you? I mean, I must have watched it 20 times already, so it's just fantastic to watch. We were spreading balls into space, playing with a high tempo, and really, Ellis Sims going off actually worked in our favour. I think I was gutted at the time because I thought we're going to struggle up front now, but it worked out all right, playing Patrick Robertson kind of, what would you call it, the false 9 role, almost, something along those lines, drifting in between the lines and picking up picking up and 3 really well taken goals. It was excellent. It was as good as an away performance as I can remember in recent years. So that led into yesterday, and obviously good point yesterday, as Jacob's already touched on, 4 away points in a week. That'll do. I mean, every Sunderland fan should be happy with the last two performances, and let's see if we can keep it up after the international break. It's a shame we've got an international break, really. You know what I mean? I really like international breaks anyway. If we had a home game next week, it'll be a really great chance to keep the momentum up. I hope we don't lose it afterwards. You know what I mean? It's just a bit of a shame we have to wait a fortnight now until our next game.
So who was your man of the match down Reading and Jack Shields?
I think you have to go for Patrick Roberts. I think the 2 goals that he took were just fantastic. I mean, you could have given it to Dan Neil. I thought it was excellent. Alex Pritchard was excellent. Leslie was good at left back. You know, any of the defenders, anyone really. But I would have gone for Patrick Roberts. So I thought the two goals he took was superb, both of them.
Fantastic, wasn't it? Jacob, you were there on Wednesday night. What was your thoughts on the game leading up to Ellis Sims going off, not Ellis Short. Ellis Sims going off, Ellis Short. Ellis Sims going off. And then after the game, it kind of changed, didn't it?
Yeah, to be honest, Sims going off, the team reacted in a really positive way. And it created a reaction to say, hang on, we don't need strikers here. The amount of talent we've got and fluidity in terms of the way we like to play, we can put teams to bed with a striker on the pitch. And it was there to see. The talent was exceptional. I thought when Elliot Embleton came on, his contribution for both of Roberts' goals was absolutely class. I think the first thing he did when he got the ball, I think he nutmegged someone, which was outstanding to see. But Roberts on that right-hand side, listen, if the guy cuts in on his left foot, he's got every chance of, potentially finding the back of the net. His talent is just fantastic. And it's nice to see a player like Roberts. If you break down his career, he's not really had, being fully settled at one club. And now I think this is the first time in his career he's got that, he sees a future at the club he's playing at. And that's something that's really, really good to see. He took his goals fantastically, but the third goal, it was just a joy being in the stadium to witness it. To be honest, just give goal of the season for 2022-23 is more or less over as far as I'm concerned. Goal of the season, just give it to that man, Jack Clark. Now, but I mean, at least if he does get the trophy, he has to share it out amongst the rest of the lads that contributed to the move. Roberts being one of them for the little flick he did. I think it was to Pritchard, then to Clark, and then then to Dan Neil, and then Clark finished it off. But fantastic, mate. Absolutely quality.
Who was your man of the match then, Jacob?
Patrick Roberts for me. Patrick Roberts.
Yeah.
I mean, you could have given it to the whole team, to be honest, but I think the way how he took his goals and the key part he played in the move for the third one, Roberts, 100%.
What's your thoughts on Reading Stadium and Majeski Stadium itself, the facilities and stuff inside? Is it a decent stadium?
Yeah, I mean, getting to it, it's a bit of a pain because it's like right by the motorway. It's on the outskirts of the town. We had to get a match day bus service from the train station. It reminded me a bit of Bolton's ground, where it's nowhere near the town centre. But yeah, the atmosphere, to be honest, it was mainly coming from the away end on Wednesday. Terry, to be honest, their supporters were very flat. But yeah, impressive ground overall, but atmosphere-wise, aside our away support, it wasn't great, but obviously great to see a decent performance there.
It didn't seem like there was many home fans there, to be honest. Now go back to the chat. Martin Smith, please let us go up and West Ham come down. Nice one, Martin. Hopefully that'll happen. By hopefully we'll go up. I'm not really bothered about who comes down. Mark Rodden, evening, gents. Glad to see the return of the Sunday Bunch. Champion, pleased to be back. Ben Hansen, Philly be getting ready for work. Yeah, Philly's busy. He's got a lot of work on now. He's a busy man. Very in high demand. And also we have on the chat, oh yes, we got Mark and Marianne and Carl Taylor being a member for 14 months. Hi guys. Patterson's fault for the second goal, but a good point. But we'll get into that later on. Greg Paddo, how are the lads? Fabulous to see you all. Great time to be a Sunderland fan. And also we have Mr. I think we saw someone on there before. Mr. Eddie Bamber. Yes, Eddie Bamber's on there. Welcome back, SAFC Fan TV. So I think we've been missed, lads. I think we've been missed. So Conrad, with you and your pussy there, how did you find the Reading match during the week on a Wednesday night?
No, he wasn't. She wasn't allowed. No, sorry. No, I had to watch the game on my tablet. straight away. And as soon as he jumped up, I just went, "Oh no, it's already starting." Right, yeah. No, I just watched the game on my iPad, and it's just strange, and in a good way to actually see us play with like so much freedom now, and even when something like that, I mean, like we didn't quite get on it, but Middlesbrough, when Stewart went off, we didn't quite sort of seem to settle into our new system, and I did kind of worry that when Sims went off against Reading, I thought, are we going to be the same? Is it going to be quite like we didn't have anything else? I mean, the front three with no strikers really stepped up for me, and Roberts especially, just sort of, 2 goals in 2 minutes at most, just sort of put the game beyond them already before we even then went on to, as Jacob's already mentioned, goal of the season at this point. For that, I think the only way they're not going to win that is if someone absolutely screams in a worldie from like 40 yards in the top bins on their own, let alone sort of going against the whole team, that one. No, the cat didn't go.
Well, I mean, when Sims went off, again, I was like, oh no, here we go again. No strikers. We've got who's going to score goals this moment in time. But then I noticed we changed the play altogether. The likes of even Dan Neil's getting a lot further forward. That dummy for Robert's second goal, I really enjoyed that from Dan Neil. And we had a lot of midfielders breaking the necks to get to the penalty box. So we just changed the way we played altogether with Sims going off now. When Sims is fit again, I'll ask us all one at a time. Do we keep it the way it is, Jack Shields, or do we change it and bring Sims back in?
It's a bit of a funny one because, I mean, we were all good, and normally I would have said bring him straight back in, but at the minute we played well in those 2 games without him. But I still think I still think we're a better team with a focal point striker, and then the runners coming from. I still think you can have runners coming from deep, Terry. But I think what it did is they were probably Rendon probably trained all week to play, a defence against Ellis Sims, and when he went off, suddenly they didn't know who to pick up or who was marking who or where the attacks were coming from or where the runners. So it's through then. It actually worked against them in a way because they probably know how Ellis Sims plays. Know he's going to be a direct striker and, want the ball in behind. But when he went off, they looked like they weren't sure how to pick up the runners or who was marking who. So that went against them in a way. So I still think you bring him back. But it's nice to know that we do have the option, of playing without them and playing well like we have done. So it's nice to know that option is there if we need it, but I would still bring him back. I
mean, we've been forced in basically playing a plan B, haven't we? And I think it's nice to see that Tony Mowbray has actually got a really good plan B, to be honest. So I'm happy with Tony Mowbray at the most moment in time. Marianne and Carl Taylor, thank you for the $5 donation. We show that we can compete at this level and seriously think we can push for a playoff at least. So, Jacob, do we continue with the way it is or do we bring Sims back?
Yeah, it all depends on how fit he is after the international break, to be fair. I mean, obviously I do like us having a striker on the pitch, but at the same time, for how we played on Wednesday at Reading and the way how we adapted to playing without a striker yesterday in key moments where we were a goal down at Watford, there's no reason why there's no harm in sticking with the same system and the same sort of style that we're playing with at the moment. But it would be nice, obviously, to get Sims back fit in case, we run out of ideas in the final third and, teams become more doubled up on some of our attacking players on a defensive point of view. But yeah, right now I'm very happy with the way we're playing. But yeah, it would be nice to get Sims back sooner rather than later. It all depends on how serious his injury is. I think Mowbray said he could have played yesterday, but I think he just didn't want to run the risk and just wait to get to the international break for him to regain his fitness back.
Nice one. Back on the live chat, Damien Jenkinson, hello from Huddersfield and congratulations to the lads getting an away point and Mowbray undefeated as coach. And may it continue away the lads, man. Well, we did lose against Middlesbrough, so almost undefeated. Telly, okay, so do we miss Broadhead? Thoughts? We might go into that one later on. Laroni 89. All right, lads, looking forward to seeing you all. The new young players developing, getting used to the championship. Benete looks class. Casual observer. Patterson looked a tad nervous yesterday. And Johnny Dawson, Thomas L. McHalmery, and also on the chat is a casual observer says Gary Bennett was superb when he came on. So there we go. So that is on the live chat. then back to Conrad. Conrad, do we stick with the same formation? I think it was more of a 4-6-0 yesterday, or do we bring Sims back for the next match against Preston at home?
It's interesting, like Jack said, because now you've got teams that might have been looking at Sims this whole time, going, right, how do we stop him when he's on the ball? How do we stop their focal point of their attack? And then, like you say, now we've got a different option. So what to Preston prepare for? You can't spend all your time thinking about what we could or couldn't play in the next one. I'd probably bring him back. I wouldn't rush him back because I don't want to be stuck with no strikers at all. And if he needs another game when we come back, to have a rest, I'd be very confident with the sort of the no strikers Man City-esque system that we're playing. Because it's done as well. Like you say, 4 points from 6 away from home with no recognised strikers on the bench. Even on the pitch, is Bennett a striker? You'll have to correct me. I'm not 100%. Or is he
false nine?
False nine, right? Okay, so again, no strikers on, and we're still picking up more points than I honestly thought we were going to get in these games. But I was being very sort of like, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. So no, I'm fine. We just pick up the odd 1s and 2s here, but to get 4 already, and as I said to Jacob yesterday when we were talking during the game, I honestly thought we could have won yesterday before we get on to that.
Well, I'm going to put you on the spot now, Conrad, because hand on my heart, my thoughts on Ellis Sims as the jury's out at this moment in time. I'm not quite sure whether he can actually cut it in the Championship by himself anyway as a striker. So what's your thoughts on Conrad, on Sims?
I think he's better when he's got another striker with him. He seems to be... It was a bit like... Who did we have? Was it when O'Brien used to play and Charlie Wyke played immense? But you never really saw what O'Brien did.
O'Brien left wing.
Yeah. Is it a bit that Sims is doing this dirty work, not really getting the reward, and it allows Stewart this extra space to get the goals he's been getting, or to to link in with the players or drop deep if Sims pushes up there. So it's one of them that I think he plays better in a 2 up top, whereas even against Middlesbrough, I know we were thrown into that system sort of quite last minute. I kept thinking all the way through the game, going, if you could play by yourself, we'd be all right here. But it's evidently clear that you can't play by yourself up top. You need someone off you, and maybe that's why maybe they worked on that at Reading, that Roberts and Clark were going to be closer to him, and Neil, we just didn't see it before he got taken off. So I didn't really answer your question there.
Oh, well, you put some good points across, though. Jack, what are your thoughts on Ellis Sims?
Yeah, well, I think he's a different type of striker to Ross Stewart, isn't he? I think we're really, really fortunate in Ross Stewart because Ross Stewart almost plays the role of like 3 strikers in one. So he's your goal scorer, he's also your target man, but he's also your pressing forward from the front, and he does the hard yards a lot of the time. Do you know what I mean? And I don't think Ellis Sims, you're going to get the shift that you get from Ross Stewart out of Ellis Sims. He's more of it in the box striker, I think, and working off somebody. And I agree with what Conrad says. I think maybe the two of them work well as a foil for each other. No doubt about Ross Stewart's, will probably get more goals over the season. I mean, I'd be pretty certain that if they both play the same amount of games, Stewart would get you the more goals. But I think that Ellis Sims, on his own, he is missing Ross Stewart, but at the end of the day, I still think we're a better team with a striker in it. It's worked well, having the kind of false 9, and we've talked about other options. Diallo and Bennett might be there as a kind of secondary backup option, but I think if Sims is fit, and that is crucial, I do think he has to come back, because I think we're a better team with 1 striker up front, even though it has worked and it might continue to work other ways. It's good that we've got options, but I still think he has his worth to the team.
Yeah, it's definitely a great point to do with Sims playing alongside Ross Stewart. Yeah, I think to be honest, I think Sims being there will help Ross Stewart a lot. Now, I think that's a good point, Conrad. Anyway, John T on the live stream, Sims is really improving game by game. Just wait. JS 2000, Sims was an absolute handful against Bristol. He was good against Bristol. I give him that. It was his first game. I think might be. Was that his first game? Yeah, Jacob?
Yeah, I believe so. Sorry.
Yeah, first game.
Yeah.
And Tam says, Sims has some talent, but it isn't leading the line, not fast enough, not experienced enough, not mobile enough, doesn't know to use his obvious strength. And it's just a tad young at the moment. Now, yeah, Sims for me. Jacob, do you think he pulls the full shift in?
Yeah, I think he does. I think, let's not forget, I think he is still a young lad. In a
21, I think he is, isn't he? 21.
Yeah. I think the point that was made earlier, I think, him playing a lot better when he's alongside someone. I think that's the type of striker he is. But at the same time, I've liked some of his work ethic in games I've seen of him so far. I mean, even on Wednesday before he came off at Reading, he was busting a gut to like get in behind their back line at times. He has got a lot of pace on him at times. I think if you give him space to run into, like, he can exploit it. But at times, I think he just doesn't. He makes the wrong run. He doesn't make the run at the right time, to beat the offside trap. I think he does still have some key elements to learn, but I think that will come over the course of the season. But even at that game against Middlesbrough, where he was asked to play up front on his own and be more of a hold-up striker, I thought he did well at times.
Did you?
What he was asked to do.
I thought he was very poor in that match.
Well, I mean, for the role he had, I think at times he had to drop deeper in and allow runners to go beyond him. But I think he did do his best in trying to be more physical with Borough's backline that was hard to get through. But at the same time, he wasn't getting in the box enough. And I think when we do have, more fully fit players in that area of the pitch, obviously, when Stuart comes back, I think we'll see more of Sims. But yeah, I can't fault his effort that he puts in on the pitch so far. Still think there's a lot more to come from the lad.
Champion. Right, back to the live chat. We've got Andrew Robbins on there. Hi, Jacob. Hi, Conrad. Serial Online Shopper here. Nice to see you yesterday, Jacob. Oh, did you see you, Jacob, yesterday?
Yeah, bumped into him at the game. Nice to see you.
Nice one. Mate. Did he buy you a pint?
No, he didn't, unfortunately. But no,
not a true fan. Not a true fan.
Jacob Sunderland Takeover everywhere we go. Love the squad, by the way. Damon Rins. It's a learning curve, and not just for Sims, but for the organisation up front and what we have got. Serious Sims does put a shift in, but people don't realise that because we used to Ross Stewart, completely different strikers. Exactly. So we're going to move on to yesterday's match now. Conrad, you watched the match, you've seen the goals. What was your overall take on the game yesterday?
A bit like I said before, and I was talking to Jacob yesterday during the match, I honestly think we could have won that game, at every point, even apart from when the first goal went in. And years of being a Sunderland fan, the same as I said to you, Terry, you just go, right, well, that's it now. 2-0, 3-0 Watford, here we go. And it's just so refreshing to see us actually think, we're not done with this. We'll still go for it. Get ourselves back into the game, not once, but twice. I don't know what O'Nien and Patterson were doing for their second goal. I think it was just dodgy jump from O'Nien, sort of ducked his head. Where else was that going to go? Patterson probably should have come out and tried to claim the first one. I thought every player played well. I can't think of anyone who had a bad one. Giacu should have hit the target with his shot before we got the equaliser, I thought. I don't think we actually really wanted to sign him. I think we were just trying to avoid another Alvarez situation of being sued by someone who we didn't have an agreement to sign with. I thought we all played well, and a bit like Jack Shields, it's so nice to see these younger players sort of coming on, and who can mix it up. Some of them might be strikers, some of them might be wingers. They might just sort of all interchange in the front. It's really nice to see, and we actually really should have won it maybe.
The good thing is we have a lot of players similar in the same positions now. We've got Clark, we've got Roberts, you've got that Benetti, you've got an abundance of like different players that can come on and really upset the sort of the other team, sort of what they're planning for. Like I said before, no Sims, or do they play Sims, do they not play Sims? So Conrad, you thought it was a decent point. Were you happy with the point end of the game?
Yeah, well, I mean, the way the game went when they got their two goals as they did. I mean, the first one was a worldy pass through, which sort of just took us out of the game, and then it was just a simple cross. But the other one was just one of those where you're just like, oh, it's not our day now. When a goal like that goes in, you're just like, right, well, it's done. But yeah, I was happy with the point. I'd probably taken a point at the start of the game. But like I said before, I'm pessimistic. I'd have taken a point before the start of the game at Reading. So it's...
Well, 4 points in 2 games away from home, I'm over the moon with that. And
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I was thinking yesterday when I seen the Watford side, I thought there were some pretty good, strong units on there, and I thought we got a lot of small players in our team. Maybe
Still
we might
Premier
get
League
knocked
players
about
in
a
their
little bit.
side.
Yeah, a lot of Premier League players, a lot of money in the side. I thought, they're due to have a good run. I thought they might knock us out of our stride a little bit. Once we went 1-0 down, I thought it's all Watford here. This could be 3 or 4-0. So I was absolutely over the moon with the resilience of the team to come back not just once but twice. It shows a real unity in the side. So Jack, I keep on saying Jack Shields. There's only one Jack on the night, so I'll say Jack. Jack, you were there. What was the atmosphere like, and what was the Watford's team again? Was that the hardest team you played so far this season?
Not really. I mean, on paper they are a pretty strong side, and they look very athletic, as a lot of teams do compared to us. To be honest, I think one slight on us is that we don't look the most physically imposing team, But that can sometimes work in your favour. You know what I mean? You have players that are good technically and good, quick on the ball and good dribblers, and you use that to your advantage as we did against Reading. So looking at the team, Watford really, really strong on paper, and the start of the better. Brilliant move for the first one. I mean, as Conrad says, fantastic pass, carved us open. Really, we are going to get that from time to time at this league. We're a new team at this level. We are going to have games whereby teams produce moments of quality like that. But the way that we dug in and come straight back, I think one of the things about this Sunderland team is that there's goals in it. I think we've scored 3 away from home at Bristol, 3 at Reading, 2 yesterday. Do you know what I mean? So we're not. I think it's working in our favour, the fact we've got young players, because they're not daunted by the challenge. You know what I mean? They go 1-0 down to a newly relegated team. The young lads, they just think, we don't care. We're going to have a go. We're going to keep trying and keep going. And we got the equaliser. Again, we went 2-1 down. But again, to come back twice in a tough place to go like Watford, a team I think are going to be up there in the mix come the end of the season. Really, really good. I thought we were good value for a point. And as has already been touched on, there was only one team in the last 15 minutes that looked like they were going to win it, and it was us. It was us. We had the ascendancy. We were the team that were going forwards, and really, if the game had gone on another 10 or 15 minutes, we might have nicked that 3-2 like we did at Bristol City. But a very, very good point. That four-way points in a week's fantastic, and we're doing better than I thought we would do at this stage. So happy days all around.
Exactly. I mean, we've been kind of forced to play Lessie over the last couple of matches with Bailey Wright. So I think his partner is due to have a baby or having a baby or something. So we've been forced to play Lessie. So he's come in, he's performed, above my expectations. Absolutely fantastic. Yesterday, it was great to see Lessie get a goal. Did any of you at the time, did you know straight away he'd scored that goal, Jacob? Or do you think it was...
I think
I never knew.
A lot of the lads who were sat around me completely forgot that goal line technology was in the Championship, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, we didn't know what was going on at all. I mean, it was I think there was a shout for a penalty a few seconds before it. I think it was Jack Clark who was bundled over to the floor. Yeah, it was a blatant pen when we watched it back on the replay.
It's an accident. He falls over on him, but it's a penalty. You can't impede someone on the ball.
Yeah, I mean, it was hard to tell from the other end, but when the goal went in, we assumed the referee had just given a foul or a free kick to them until we saw Elise running off celebrating in the corner. Yeah, and then you start to hear the more cheers, and then it was given. One of those ones we didn't know how to celebrate, to be honest, but we took it. It was right on half time, and the goal came at the perfect time. So.
Even on the replays, it looked like it hadn't gone over the line, but when you saw the Hawkeye, you could see it was clearly over the line. So definitely well done with that kind of technology. So Jacob, what was your whole take on the atmosphere down there and the whole result itself?
Yeah, atmosphere, tremendous, mate. Absolutely. Even though there wasn't alcohol served in the away end, which was a bit of a joke. The stand we were given, it was a bit cramped at half time, and there was a bit of leakage as well from the toilets, which wasn't great, to be honest. But atmosphere absolutely tremendous, absolutely fantastic, and their fans are really friendly as well. Watford, the ones we met before the game, good crack. Wish you all the best for the future. The ones I met, so yeah, well done. But overall, was it because it was compact Vicarage Road? Really enclosed atmosphere. I think that gave the players a real buzz on the pitch, to make it an interesting game. And yeah, they did that. It was, in terms of quality, I think that was probably the game of the weekend in the Championship, to be honest. At times, it was like a boxing match. It was so open and so spread out. They came at us, we came at them. And it was just, a really enjoyable game to watch, mate, even though, like what Conrad said, if we'd just been given a few more minutes of stoppage time, I reckon we would have gone on to win it.
Emma Hansen on the live chat says, haha, I watched it and didn't even know for about 20 seconds we'd scored. I was the same. I had no clue until
I
then.
knew.
I just had no idea.
Well, because it's like Jake said, I only know there's goal line technology in this league because when we played Bradford on Boxing Day 4 years ago, Stadium Light, there isn't goal line technology. and I remember thinking, oh, yeah, so I know it's in that one above. And honestly, as soon as I went, I just looked at the ref and his hand was straight up and I was like, yes, I already know at this point. And then it was waiting to hear you lot celebrating in the background.
Fed lad on the live chat, great to see so many players wanting to play for the club and the attitude. Yes, exactly. The attitude's brilliant. Johnny Dawson, it just shows you how good Ross Stewart is on and off the ball. He brings so much to the table and it's top class. So, Conrad, what was your thoughts on the young lads who came on yesterday, Ahmad, Bennett and Barr?
I mean, I hadn't seen a lot of them, but I mean, like
and
you said,
Diallo.
And Diallo as well.
Well, Ahmad,
so
that's what he likes to be called, Ahmad, doesn't he?
Matt, does he? Could do for all that. I know he's a winger. I know there was some sort of like he can play as a striker. I have a friend who supports United who said he's more of a winger. But again, it's just nice to see this change because for years we've been picking up players who we all knew on maybe reputation or knew that they'd done once something good in the Premier League or once something at the Championship level, and we were like just picking them up. And like players like when we signed Louis Sahar and James McFadden. And you know what I mean? They're sort of journeymen, but like we bought them just because we know they might do something. Whereas now it's a bit like, yes, we've gone for these youngsters and they might all not work, but it's sort of they're young and hungry and want to prove themselves. And that's a bit of what I think Speakman was trying to go for, that thing of they only sign players for money under the age of 25. Anyone over 25 is a free transfer that can benefit us. So like Corey Evans, Danny Barth, I think was a free transfer as well. And you're sitting there going, well, it works. Look at Bennett's already come in and made an impact. We haven't seen the lad from PSG yet. Barr looked great on the ball yesterday when he came on as well. Diallo against Reading when he came on. Diallo the other day when he came on as well, just sprinting down the line at them. Little interchanges with Patrick Roberts already. They seem committed to the team already instead of being like, I know I'm rambling on a bit here, but a bit like when we used to have like Josh Madger or a Sorrow that were like, we're here, but so we can be somewhere else in a little bit. Do you know what I mean? They seem to be like, well, even if we go, we're committed to playing now and being the best we can.
It's good to see that, Tony Mowbray actually giving the young lads a chance as well. And but towards the end of the game, when the Watford defence are getting tired, you bring all these little smaller sort of, and that's like smaller, faster players with loads of skill. It must be an absolute nightmare for the Watford defenders to suddenly have to adapt to these new players. I thought Bennett looked absolutely fantastic yesterday. Jack, what was your thoughts on Bennett and the lads?
Yeah, just echoing what's already been said, to be fair. I thought they added a bit of athleticism and pacing when we really, really needed it. I think we are going to need players like that because as good as our team is, it's not the most, athletic. It doesn't have the most mobility in it. So I think when you are adding those players in off the bench, particularly against tired defences as well, you know what I mean? That gives you a really great option for quick players to get in behind it and stretch them. And Watford played quite an open game, which helped us as well. Do you know what I mean? I think they were probably, even when they were in front, they were still looking to go further in front. Some teams, when they get in front, particularly when they've already given the lead away, might have sat back a little bit more. So the fact that they were playing quite an open game, I mean, obviously it's worrying for us because we've got to defend against it. But it does give you a chance when teams play like that because it means that you've got space to kind of go into them. We did catch them a few times. I mean, the way he took his goal as well, Bennett, I thought was fantastic. To show that composure from a young lad, I mean, not quite dead on the last minute, but last few minutes of the game, how many players would have snatched at that or fired it over the bar, not even got a shot away? He got the ball down, controlled it, and an excellent finish, superb slotted finish into the net. So yeah, I think everyone came on and did really well. They did the respective roles excellently well and added to the performance, and it was right timing as well. Got to give Tony Mowbray a bit of credit because I think he got the substitutions right. He got it at exactly the right time. I wanted them on a little bit earlier, but actually, when they came on, I thought that he timed it pretty well.
Yeah, well, Jacob, Bennett scoring his first goal for Sunderland so early in his career. It's got to sort of make a bit more relaxed for the future, and it's so good to get a goal so early in your career. So, what's your thoughts on Bennett? Can you go on to bigger and better things?
Yeah, tremendous, mate. What I really like about him at the moment is his confidence to take people on. Normally at that age, you like to mix it up. You tend to like go for that extra pass and, be safe. But every time he gets the ball, he's getting more and more confident to beat his man. And he was doing that every single time on that left-hand side when he came on yesterday. I mean, Watford's right back, I think it was, they played a free, but Craig Cathcart, I think, was marking him towards the end, couldn't get anywhere near him. And I think that was a good tactical decision made by Mowbray. I think Cathcart, in terms of the age he's at now and his lack of pace, really struggled against him. But he always got himself in the right areas as well, and it landed perfectly to him in the box and took his finish superbly. So, yeah, can't fault the lads. His celebration was class as well. He really embraced the passion amongst our fan base in the away end. But good luck to the kid as well, getting a call up for Costa Rica, I believe. Did they qualify for the World Cup?
I was just looking that up now because I know he's already played. He's an international player. He's already played 6 times for Costa Rica, so he's not going to be crap. Costa Rica at the World Cup 2014 took England out of the group, and beat Italy and Uruguay. They're not a pushover of a team. Do you know what I mean?
No,
it's going to be great confidence for the young lads scoring so early in his Sunderland career.
Germany, Spain, and Japan.
Oh, nice one. So before we go into man of the match, I want to talk about one more thing. And Leroni89, don't know about you, but I'm sick of referees being against us, very rarely getting decisions to go our way. Now, if we've not had a penalty this season, I might be correct. I think that's right. We've not had no penalties this season. How many penalties should we have had yesterday, Jack?
I think definitely they look like there was definitely one on Jack Clark. He sort of got bundled in, so I definitely thought we should have had one there. So I don't know I don't think there'd be any bias against. I just think we probably expected the referees to be a step up from League One. You get promoted, you think your logic should be that the refs go up a level, but I think it's just refereeing at the minute isn't of the highest standard as it should be. Perhaps maybe the game's too quick for a lot of them. I don't know. It seemed to be a quick team yesterday coming off the bench without players, and maybe they just couldn't keep up. So I definitely thought one on Jack Clark. I definitely thought that there was one there we should have had.
What was the referee's name again? Anybody know?
I can try and find it for you.
Because we'll do a little thing every week. We'll have a little ref watch. Jack, out of 10, referee yesterday.
I'd have given him probably 5, and that's maybe being generous.
Jacob, thoughts on the referee? Should we have had a couple of penalties or what?
Yeah, and there was also a few tackles that we made that the referee deemed to be quite dangerous. I mean, Matete made one at the end where it was perfectly timed.
Beautiful tackle.
Yeah, the guy went down to the floor like he'd been shot. Absolutely disgrace. I mean, I would go probably 6 out of 10, but also I must say the officiating wasn't great at all yesterday. There were times on where I thought we beat the offside trap, very well, and it was flagged up, and apparently Clark's goal that he did score, it was offside by only a few inches, but yeah.
That's what I was going to say. Has anyone seen that back? Because I thought it was very tight.
They put a replay on. There was no daylight between him, but he was leaning over past him. So yeah, unfortunately, didn't look
Conrad,
at the time.
Referee decisions yesterday, and out of 10.
It's because they got the offside right. Annoyingly, the penalty was wrong. There was a suspicion of a handball at one point for one of our shots that they were almost like dead in line with, and he didn't sort of even and flinch at it there. There was, like you say, the Matete one, to give a yellow card for that when you've perfectly won the ball. Like, why can't you tackle someone like that? I didn't touch the player, and I'm allowed to go in hard for the ball. It's just, I think overall, as the officials, like Jacob said, probably a 6 maybe, because I mean straight away, but then 5 maybe, because the one for the goal line, it's not even them making the decision. He's got something on his watch that tells him if that's right or wrong. So yeah, probably a 5.
Yeah, I'll give him a 5 as well. I thought he was pretty average yesterday. I mean, without sort of being absolutely awful like hairband man, it was pretty average.
The referee was Kevin Friend, didn't he? Used to be a Premier League referee. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, was it Kevin Friend that sent Wes Brown off at Stoke all them years ago? Was that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was a worthy tackle as well.
On the touchdown, got him sent. I remember that. I mean, I'm going back about 8 or 9 years there. Like,
yeah.
Was that really Kevin Friend yesterday? Was it?
Apparently, yeah. At least it wasn't that. I was going to swear, but that one
hairband man.
Yeah, the grey. Every time I see him now, I just go like, "Oh God, right, we've lost this."
Right, man of the match, Chester Conrad.
Ooh. I think it's going to be difficult because there's quite a lot I could pick on it. I didn't see Pritchard a lot on there. Clark, I'll give it to Clark. I just thought he was trying everything all the time, and it was one of those ones where he was unlucky not to come away with a goal again himself. Yeah, I'll just give it to Clark. I think he was always putting himself about and always giving it a good go. I know he went off before we got back in the game, but
you always know it's a good team performance when it's hard to find really someone that stands out. Jacob, your man of the match?
You know what? I thought Corey Evans was really good yesterday. Really good. You know, he was tracking back well. He rarely gave the ball away. He was getting stuck in. His positional play was brilliant. I thought he linked up well with his wide players, making the right pass, and his fluidity in the middle of the park. Yeah, I thought Corey Evans done really well, so I'll give it to him. But there'll be some other contenders as well. Clark, Roberts done well at times, and even Bennett when he came on. So Corey Evans, that's my own personal opinion, but you could have given it to a lot of other people in the team.
Jack?
Well, I was going to say Clark, same as Conrad, but I'll change it and I'll go Alessi. I thought because he got the goal, I thought he was a constant threat, even though he was a fullback, getting forward and supporting the attacks. I know you could say he was part of a defence that conceded 2 goals, but I don't think he did anything massively wrong with either of those. So just to be different, I'll say Alessi. And I thought he's done really, really well. He's someone that, you know, that type of position doesn't often get the credit he deserves. Maybe goes under the radar a little bit because whenever you think of man of the match, you think of the attacking performances, don't you? Think of the players going forward to do things. But I thought Alessi had a really good game and obviously got the goal as well. So
Terry.
Yep.
The ref wasn't Kevin Friend. I loaded up the 2-2 from back in the Premier
John
League.
Busby, wasn't it? John Busby.
I
remember now.
This one says Robert Madley. This is just wrong. It definitely wasn't Bobby Madley.
It was definitely John Busby. As I watched the match at the start, they were coming out. I had John Busby. I remember the name now, John Busby on there. Joseph Billingsley also says Alessi's man of the match. I'm going to agree with them. I'm going to agree with Jack and Joseph. I think Alessi, for me, was very good yesterday. That was all around good team performance, to be fair. I mean, you know, you can't really take anything away from anybody. But so I want to move on now to, we have no strikers. Do we delve into the free transfer market? And is there anybody out there that you would actually bring in, Jacob?
Nah, not right now. I think the most talked about name amongst the free agent market when the injury first happened to Sims, I think there was, is it Thompson? What was his name? Is it Craig Thompson? I can't remember who he plays. That's the one I heard. I mean, someone might have to correct me in the chat, but no, that there wasn't any really convincing names that stood out. I mean, unless there could be one from abroad that we don't really know about that could come in and do a job. But to be honest, with the way and the certain style we're playing at the minute, I think, you know, our squad's more or less sorted. It'd be nice, obviously, for the young lads to obviously put in performances on a consistent basis. We might not get that. I think some games Mowbray might have to handle them in the correct way and not try and burn them out like Johnson did last year. But yeah, right now I'm happy with the squad. But if it would have to be the right free agent that would come along that could do.
Do we need somebody to replace Corey Evans if he gets injured, or if we have somebody already in the team, Jacob?
To be honest, I would say Matete, you know, is got the capability to come into Evans's position and do a decent job. I do like Jay Matete. I mean, I know he gets his critics at times by some Sunderland fans, but I still think there's a lot more to come from the lad.
He might grow and nurture and improve with the rest of the squad as it gets more experience. Jack, any free agents, or are you not bothered?
Well, a couple of weeks ago, certainly, you know, when Stuart was injured and then you only had Sims, and I was thinking definitely when he went down against Redden, I thought we definitely need to go into. Jacob was thinking about players that we could potentially look at. One I looked at was Matej Vidra, who was at Burnley. He was a player that I looked at and thought he's a free agent. I know he's kind of north of 25. I think he's about 30. He might even be 31. He's not ancient, but he's kind of doesn't really follow the model that we're looking down. I was looking at him thinking he may be an option, but to be honest, we've coped pretty well. We've coped far better than I thought we would have. It's a bit of an oversight from us in the transfer market, though, that we left ourselves short, because in a team that wants to play with 2 strikers, you should always have at least 3, I think. You have a backup, you know, so the fact we've left ourselves with 2, not great. I mean, we've been unlucky as well to get them both injured at the same time. Pretty unlucky that that's happened, but that could always happen. So a little bit of an oversight leaving us short, but at the minute, I think his injury's not too bad. Ellis Sims, And hopefully Stuart will be back by maybe back end of October, maybe 3 or 4 weeks' time, something along those lines. So I think I would just avoid going into transfer market and keep it the way it is, and just hope we don't get another injury.
Our representatives have spoken to Fabian Delph's representatives just as a chat. That's basically it. Would you be tempted to bring in him, or do you think he's not for the team?
It would have to be on the right deal, though, Terry. Do you know what I mean? Because he doesn't fit the model. I think I'm pretty sure he'll be definitely north of 30. I don't know his age.
32.
I was going to say, yeah, he's been around a while for Fabian Delph, hasn't he? And he is a decent player, but the deal has to be right. If he comes in and says, I want this, that, and the other, I want to be guaranteed that I'm playing every week, I'm fit, I want this amount of money, I would say no. So it has to be the right kind of terms. So on the right terms, yeah, get him in until the end of the season. Do you know what I mean? A sort of 9-month deal, 9-month contract or whatever, and then maybe put something in if he plays a certain amount of times, it triggers an automatic extension or something. I don't know, but I wouldn't go out of my way to sign him. Do you know what I mean? I think it has to be on our terms and not his, because I don't think we're that desperate.
Would you not go in for another goalkeeper?
Yeah, well, that is one that I think we might need to look at, to be fair, because I thought Patterson was a bit iffy yesterday. He came out once when he didn't need to, and the lad didn't quite get his shot away. And him and 09, they didn't cover themselves in glory. I like Patterson. I think he's going to be a good goalkeeper, and I think his reflexes are good, but I just think he's not commanding. And in the Championship, you need to be a bit more commanding than he is. So maybe that would be the only one I would look at. Maybe, yeah, I would agree on that one. Maybe a free agent goalkeeping experience, somebody a bit more experienced.
Conrad, your thoughts on free agents? Apparently, Matete and that new lad, Barr, he can play in the similar position as Corey Evans. Do we need anybody else? Do we need a striker?
If you're looking in the midfield, Delph's probably a good option. I don't like him. I never really liked him that much as a footballer, and watching that Man City documentary where he tries to tell Pep Guardiola about the basics of football is just embarrassing. But because that's what Corey Evans is there for as well. He might not technically be the best player in there, but his experience and his knowledge of the game, that's why him and Bath just in front of each other work quite well as a sort of strong spine of our team. So if you can get him in, like Jack was saying, sort of on the right attitude and reason he's here, then it might be worth sort of having a look at. And because he's over 25, the free agent thing fits because we don't have to pay a fee for them. That was the big thing. We don't want to pay fees for players that are over 25. Strikers, yeah, it was a bit of an oversight leaving ourselves short. Maybe we thought we'd get Broadhead too, and he'd be sort of just in and about it. You've got, there was Fraser Campbell's kicking about. You've got Scott Sinclair kicking about, but are they any better than the young lads who are hungry and ready to prove themselves? I don't really think so at the base at the moment, but keeper-wise, I do think we're short. I think I'd have plucked for someone with experience as a number 2.
Would you have Hoffman back?
No.
Jack? Jacob?
No.
Full house, no, mate.
No. Right, no.
I'd rather have Lee Camp back. No, I wouldn't really.
I wouldn't go that
Robin
far.
Hood, on the live chat, Robin Hood says, my concern isn't Patterson, it's the depth that's in there, because we've got that other lad, haven't we, who's on the bench. So, yeah, I think we do need another goalkeeper. We need to look at another goalkeeper. Whether we get a free transfer, I don't know what goalkeepers are kicking about, the free transfers. But I would definitely go for another goalkeeper. Striker-wise, if the free transfers and they're over 30, why aren't they already playing for another team if they're good enough to play for a team in the Championship? Yeah. Yes, Jacob?
Someone mentioned at the match yesterday, with the injury situation we have at the moment amongst the strikers, would you recall Jack Diamond for that reason?
Did he get a hat-trick yesterday?
He did.
He played really well for Lincoln.
Yeah.
To be fair, after seeing the last 2 matches, I think I'm happy with the way we are without a striker. Man City haven't played for a striker for a lot of years. I know they've got quality players all over the pitch, but I think what I've seen last 2 matches, we know we're not actually relying on a striker. We can score from a lot of positions.
Shields, Jack. Time, though.
Would you 3 bring Jack back?
No, I wouldn't bring Jack Diamond back. I think he's doing well where he is, and I get the sentiment. Although I do think he did well when he played against Sheffield Wednesday before he went back out on loan, and I thought he did look lively. But I think now in that position we have, is he an out striker, Jack Diamond? I would always say he's more of a kind of attacking mid/wide forward. Well, we've got quite a few of them. If you talk about our squad, we've got Patrick Roberts, we've got Jack Clark, we've got Tijaku. Do you know what I mean? So we've got sort of 3 or 4 that type of player already. So I'm not sure. I think I'll leave Diamond where he is.
Conrad?
Yes, exactly the same as that. I don't think he gets in ahead of any of our sort of wingers or attacking midfielders at all. He maybe has a case of getting in ahead of Diaku, I would have said, but he was good against Sheffield up top, and maybe like you throw him on with a couple of minutes left as a sole striker, maybe he can get in. But again, it's like I said before, I don't see him being an improvement on what we have.
Right. Robert Foster says his players are still in for free market. They can't be that good. That's what I'm thinking this moment in time as well. I think why would you upset the apple cart by bringing in maybe his free transfers? I can see if we are a bit weak in free transfers, for me, they come in and go on the bench because I don't think they would go in front of anybody at this moment in time. Now, Tony Mowbray has come into Sunderland and he's had a bit of a rough start of his coaching career at Sunderland. As soon as he's come in, had a play against Bury, lost his main striker. Had a game against Reading, lost his other striker. But yesterday in Watford, I thought his substitutions were perfect. What's your thoughts, Conrad, on Tony Mowbray at Sunderland? Do you think he can actually keep us in 5th position or in the playoffs?
Before he came in, I was very like, oh, right, okay. But I think that was half of me was still in that thing of, I don't want to lose Alex Neil. Do you know what I mean? Just, I don't want change. And then he's come in and he's, in a weird way, do you remember when Ranieri came in from Pearson at Leicester and he's just carried on with what we were doing good already, and it's just sort of filtered through, and then he can sort of filter in his changes as he's gone on. We battered Rotherham under Tony Mowbray. Yeah, against Borough, we were caught out by a striker getting injured a couple of minutes before the game. I think we play that game with our 2 strikers, we would have battered them. I honestly do. I think it's the system change just beforehand that cost us. We smashed Reading, like you said, and then we could have won the other game. I think he's been great. He's just picked up the ball and just ran with it as well. And I don't see why we couldn't stay up and around this sort of position. No, not at all.
We'll go back to the Diamond thing. Keno says, let Diamond play football as he would only be a fringe player. And Sims be back soon. Sims will be back soon. I'm sure the club will be lining up a striker in the January window. Right, to go with Tony Mowbray, I think, like I said, I've been chatting to 1 or 2 people who know him, and they said he's a really good coach, doing a good job, but he can talk a hind leg of a donkey. He's a really good talker. He seems to be doing a great job at the moment. He seems to be nurturing these young lads. He has done it at Blackburn already, and hopefully he can get them coming through. I mean, a lot of these players, yesterday's team was a majority last season's League One team. They've all seemed to improved a lot together. And like Conrad says, it's a bit like Leicester, where Ranieri came in, picked up the mantle and just strode on with it. Jack, what's your thoughts on Tony Mowbray so far? Are you happy?
More than happy, Terry. I think he's been excellent. We lost at Middlesbrough, but the other 3 performances really, really good. Let's not forget Rotherham. He just came in the last minute. I don't think he was announced until the day, was he? Or one day before, so he'll not have had much time there. Comfortable win. Brilliant win at Reading. Best performance of the season at Reading and a comfortable win. Go to Waford yesterday, get a really good point. So 3 out of the 4 have been really, really good. And even Middlesbrough at the end, yeah, we didn't play well and we didn't deserve anything, but we could have nicked something towards the end. Had we just nicked a point there, that would have been an unbeaten start. You know what I mean? So I think you've got to. And also fans, I think maybe got it wrong a little bit, because I get that nobody wanted Alex Neil to go, and it wasn't the most exciting appointment, was he? No one was running around saying we've got Tony Mowbray, we're buzzing, we're all absolutely made up with that. So it was kind of a steady, safe pair of hands. But I think really for what his job that he did at Blackburn, developing youngsters, we've got a very young squad. Tactically in the game, he's got it right twice in a row now, with Reading the way he changed it, and then yesterday the way he changed it. And really, I think he deserves a little bit more credit for the start that he's made. And we've got 2 home games now back to back. If he wins both of those, or at least gets 4 points, that's 4 wins out of 6 or something like that. Maybe even something. So I think he's done really, really well, and I hope he can keep it up.
So far, so good it is. Right, if you are enjoying this live stream, please give us a thumbs up. Let's smash 100 likes. There's 163 people on the live stream. Just give us a thumbs up. Smash the thumbs up. Get us over 100. And also, if you're new channel, please subscribe to the channel. If anybody out there is like us at this moment in time, happy with Tony Mowbray, give us a thumbs up. Jacob, thoughts on Tony so far?
Doing well, mate. Doing well. Like what Conrad said, he's already taken on board a talented group of players, and taken on board a talented way that the the squad was currently playing, even when Alex Neil was here, and he's done very well to create that same level of momentum in the dressing room. But let's not obviously fault the experience that the guys had at this level, before coming in. And people can say, well, Alex Neil, he won promotion at Norwich and he had to do it. But Tony Mowbray, he won promotion with West Brom as well. I know that was over a decade ago, but he's still, like what Jack said, got the managerial nous to develop young players at this level and, take them to that next stage. And I have every faith he'll do that when he's with us as well. He's done it at Blackburn with people like, Adam Armstrong, who's now playing for Southampton in the Premier League. But hopefully he'll be able to do that with some of our lot. But who knows? With the talent in our squad at the moment, let's just see how far we can go this season. Take one game at a time. And who knows? Really, who knows?
Well, Damon Rins says free transfers are like cheap tattoos. Andrew Robbins says he's so popular, Tony Mowbray has already had a park named after him. There we go. So that's a good one. Right, Jack, where can we actually finish this season? What does your gut say? What does your head say? What does your heart say? Whatever.
lot of questions there. What does my gut say? What does my head say? What does my heart say? I know what you mean. I think realistically this season, I know people are wanting to be up in the promotion mix in the playoff. I don't think it's impossible. I think if we have a really good season for us will be if we get in the playoffs. However, I just think that might be a little bit ambitious at the minute, Terry. I know we're all getting carried away, and I've said myself, I think we've made an excellent start, far better start than most of us probably thought. And we haven't had it easy, have we? We've lost a manager already this season, and we've had injury to two of our main strikers. You know what I mean? So we've not had it. We've had a lot thrown at us, and we've coped tremendously well. And it's just nice to be able to watch Sunderland with a bit of optimism, isn't it? We're going to games now, and it's exciting. It's nice to watch this team develop, and you've got a Sunderland team you can identify with and you're proud with. Where can we finish? Like I say, I don't think it's impossible for us to finish in the playoffs. However, I think realistically, top half, if we can finish sort of anywhere sort of 8th, 10th mark, and then that gives us that platform next season to then say, well, right, we've had one season of stability. We've pretty much done really well, and can we keep going next year and then take it to be aiming for the playoffs? As long as there's that steady progression, Terry, I think all Sunderland fans will be happy with being that relatively patient.
One question from Telly, which I forget to ask before: do you regret that we didn't sign Broadhead, Jack?
No, not really. I don't think we're missing him that. Although, to be fair, I might have contradicted myself because I think we could have had another striker. I'm not necessarily saying it would have to be Broadhead. I wasn't that desperate to sign him, but I think we should have probably, brought one more number in that area. But I wasn't that fussed on signing him specifically, if that makes sense.
I think if we brought Broadhead in, it would have to be the understanding he wouldn't get every single match. So it's whether or not he would. I would personally like to see Broadhead on the bench. I would like to see Broadhead on the bench, just in case, like I said, in this sort of circumstances. But at the end of the day, it's happened. Jacob, where can we finish this season? And would you want Broadhead back? Would you brought Broadhead back?
Well, answer to where do I think we'll finish this season? I honestly think with the talent in our squad, I'll go top half, to be honest, mate. And considering we've just come up from League One, I'd snap your hand off and take that now, to be honest. But let's not get too ahead of ourselves. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. Take one game at a time, and let's just enjoy it. First of all, let's just enjoy being back in the Championship. 4 years being away, and yeah, let's kick on from there. But take it in small steps. And regards to your other question about Nathan Broadhead, the main mistake I think we made with the Broadhead transfer, I think we lingered on a bit too much over the summer. I think because we made him, I think, our prime target of bringing him back on a permanent deal. But then I think we left it a bit too late. But then again, we got in some talented young players, to make up for it. At the same time, I think Everton, they were lingering about his contract situation, and he obviously wanted to go somewhere where he'd be guaranteed starts every week. And I don't think he was going to get that personally this season, even if he did come back. I think Alex Neil, if he'd remained in charge and if we did get Nathan Broadhead, I think he would have chopped and changed up front. I think we would have signed someone with more experience in the Championship. But no, Nathan Broadhead, I don't miss it. miss him now, mate. I think we've done well for what we've ended up with.
Right, we're running out of time. I would say Broadhead, yes, I would like to have him at the club, and I think about 10th place would be a great start this season. Anything in that is a bonus, Conrad?
I was very much at the start of the season I'm happy with survival, but seeing how we've come on so far, I think same as sort of Jacob, mid-table to top half would be where I would expect us to finish. If we can push further on, then absolutely fantastic, and they're more than capable of doing it. Broadhead, no, I have this thing where we have loan players and then all we seem to do is chase them for year on year because like Barini, like it was just, he didn't really want to be here, lads, like just back off. Do you know what I mean? Broadhead, why would he come back when we've already signed Sims, who is ahead of him at Everton? So why would he then come to be like, well, I'm second fiddle somewhere else? It's just let it go. Sometimes you've had a nice relationship with him. You can just let it end where it is. You don't need to sort of continue to chase him.
Let it go, let it go. Oh, sorry about that. Right, anyway, I want to say a big thank you to everybody on the live stream tonight. I'm sorry if I couldn't read out your questions because I can't multitask. I'm not a woman, but there we go. I want to say a big thank you to Conrad. Welcome back to the Sunday Punch. Have you enjoyed it?
Mate. Oh, I have.
Nice
one.
We'll
have to do more of these when we start playing more matches again.
Excellent. Jack, you want to say goodbye?
It's been enjoyable, and see you later, lads and lasses.
Nice one. Jacob?
How are the lads? Keep the faith.
I'm sure some men can multitask out there. Just women, just a better breed, aren't they, really? There we go. Anyway, thanks for watching the SAFC Fan TV Sunday Bunch. We'll see you next time after the Preston match. There'll be a little bit of a break for the international duty. Then we're back for the Sunday after the Preston match. Take care. God bless me. God go with you. And we'll see you later. Thank you.